I like how I constantly stream and I just constantly like fail every time I start. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to get the whole video perfect, but I would love to get the intro perfect like that. At least for the most part that you won't even notice me mess up a word. You know what I'm saying? What I was trying to do earlier was say, thank you for tuning in. Okay, hold on. I will not count that as a mess up because it technically did a mess up a word, but what I was doing earlier is thank you for tuning in. Thank you for taking your time out of the day to come watch me play my favorite video games and superheroes. And this Friday we were going to do a Marvel's Spider-Man Miles Morales Breaking Through the Noise. And the last mission we just did was Marvel's Spider-Man Miles Morales Curtain Call. See, something like that around that vicinity is what I would like for my intros is to start like that. You know what I'm talking about? And this week, I've been itching. Like, ever since I got off work, I've been itching to just stream. And it was in my mind. And I was just like, here we go again. Here's the flow. Here's the rush of, like emotions and feelings and mental stability or positive energy or negative energy. I notice every time that I get off work, I'm just like, okay, this week is a very humbling experience, nonetheless, even more for me as a tower tech 2, part of the troubleshooting team with Brasmasco-Paez. It's just a week of humility. All right, we go take the test, right? Actually, hold on, we go take a class for the MEWP, for the mobile electronic platform, MEWP, maneuverable electronic something platform. Right now, hold on. You know what? If I can't remember, I'm gonna use the technology that's around me, like use the men around you. What does MEWP mean? Hold on, guys. That really got me stumped. No. Wow. Mobile elevated working platforms. So anyway, we do a class for the mobile elevating workplace platforms, which is like man lifts and scissor lifts and whatever. That day, right, is cool, it's easy. We just did a little bit of slides. We went through it, and then out in the warehouse, we got to try the lift, which is like this. It's more like for CRAN, for small cells, so it has 2 legs in the front, 2 legs in the back, and it has a leveler. So when you actually use those legs to have it stability. And good basis for it to lift up the basket for a man to be in it, is that you have to work around the buttons and have the legs on each point, which is 4 points of contact, and then it lifts the tires up, and there's like this little bubble that you see to put it inside the circle, so that means it's balanced. So we did that day, right? It was Will, Connor, Don, Fred, Nico, I think that's it. We took that class. Alright, cool, easy, you knew how to use a lift, whatever. And then the next day we do climbing class. And so this test requires to be 80%. 80%. It's open book, right? Whatever. All right. They're gonna toss questions in there. There's really obvious and really self-explanatory. If you've been around the tower industry, there's just certain questions that you would know. But I think when I was taking the test, I was worried about taking it too fast. It's this some sort of feeling I always get when I'm around people. I don't know why I do it. Does anyone have that? Like, are you worried? Like, when I was in college, I would always worry about finishing my my test quicker, right? So when I'm around people, hold on, guys, I'll be back. When I'm around people, it's like, why did I take the test? Why did I take that test and knowing that I should took all the time, you know, I should take most of the time to do it, right? But anyway, like, we took that test, and it was 80%, right? 80%. And then they had us pass our papers around. So for me, so boom, 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 we get it done. I noticed that there's some questions that I kind of went fast, and then there was some questions I didn't know, but I moved on. So that's what I learned in college in DMV class or whatever. I just learned to take my tests. Like, okay, if you don't know this and you can't find an answer, it's best to not waste all that time on just one question. So I moved on, whatever, right? And then, so I missed 12. You were only allowed to miss 7. Hayden was in our class, Bliss, Francisco, Tyler, Chris Rose, Eric Serrano, and another new guy that didn't end up showing up the last 2 days. But anyway, on to my story that Hayden was like, shoot, I almost barely passed it. And I didn't pass it. And you know what, Elvis, our instructor, shout out to him, Elvis, his name is Elvis Santana, yes, 2 celebrities. He's like, damn, he's probably thinking like, damn, you missed 12? Open book. Come on, you had the book to look at, you know what I'm saying? You took notes, you took pictures, whatever, right? And it's been such a humble, humility type of week, but it was also great. You know what I'm saying? So going back to the story that I missed 12, and Elvis was like, you just need to take the test again. So he gives me another test. And then Eric Serrano was like, watch Ted get 100% now. And, you know, it's just like the perfect part of like the industry I work in is because even though that I had failed, it was in a leadership role for Elvis to be like, well, if he fails, I failed him. So we technically fail. You know what I'm saying? If no one trains Ted right and keep, you know, notice of these little things, then how are we going to build all these sites together and keep everyone safe at the same time, right? So that just right there is humbling. I'm like, oh, great, I didn't even pass. So that means I can't even climb. You know what I'm saying? I'm probably thinking, you know, mind you, I'm saying this to point out the good in the industry. He's like, take the test again. This time, get it right. So take the test, boom, we go out, we take pictures of our little thing, our little tests, we send it to him, whatever, right? Humbling. That was humble. That was the first humble pie. I'm like, couldn't even score good in an open book test. Come on, Ted. Come on. You're so-called this guy who has a college degree, associate's degree in business, but you can't even pass a freaking 35-question test, and you miss 12. You don't miss 7, you miss 12. You know what I'm talking about? Like, very humble, humbling experience. We all need that in our lives. You can't always be hitting and feeling, I mean, you could try, but you can't always feel great at every time of every day of the freaking year. There's going to be some days you feel like that. So this week, it's just been so much humility and humbleness because I could have went home and studied. You know what I did? I just watched Seinfeld. I just ate dinner, whatever, you know. I played Halo to get some of the levels up in Halo for the first season of Halo Reach season and Halo Infinite. So I was worried about that, right? But I knew I wasn't going to stream. Why? Because streaming has been I've been probably pushing my body hard on the stream. I'm not saying this to blame anyone, but I can probably tell you has been burning me out. And what did I do? I didn't stream. I still did the things that I did. I would call Babe up for an hour, talk to her. I would still, watch a little Seinfeld, have a little laughter, have a little laughter alone in your apartment. You know what I'm saying? Just like eating dinner, and then watch Seinfeld, which I was having the time of my life. But also, I wasn't being as productive as I usually would. If I had the time to be home, I'd be freaking streaming. For some reason, I've never really you know what I'm saying? A YouTuber, I always dreamed to be a YouTuber. I never really was like that upon me just being on YouTube a lot and see how I'm actually not that great on certain situations when I'm speaking. This actually gives me a platform to talk very more specific and more clear on my freaking YouTube, right? So that was just humbling to get that 80% right. Go back to the climbing thing. It's just so humbling for me, right? So this is why it led me to I gotta at least put this on the YouTube. I gotta at least share my experiences with you guys, because this week has been very humble. You know what I'm talking about? I know I sound like a broken record, but whatever, this is what I like. This gives me a platform to talk about it, and you guys gonna be like, wow, this guy, Babe gets on me because she's like, damn, you get so, that's when your Teddy rants. There's some good Teddy rants, like positive in a sense, but there's ones that are just I'll go rambling on for a while. And it'll turn like I'm a freaking villain. But I take that test, and then I fail. And then he has to take me, Elvis has me take the test again. So I pass. And then so we go out to climbing, right? We go out, this is the day, I think, on Tuesday? Monday, man lift. Tuesday, that's when we had our test. Or no, we didn't have that test that day. On Tuesday, we just learned and pushed through all the slides. We pushed through 260 slides or something like that. And then we didn't climb because we ate too much. Excuse that. I don't know, Elvis was looking out for us because it seemed like no one wanted to climb. But that's when that one guy is bigger dude. I don't know his name, but he came from the other company that got absorbed by our company, right? But anyway, the third day is the actual day that we control descended, and that we did a self-rescue 3 times, one of each. 3 controlled descents and 3 self-rescues, right? So we go up the load rope. There's a vertical lifeline, and there's a descent rope. There's 2 different ropes that are up there. What are those? So when Ted is talking about descent rope and vertical lifeline, what does that mean? Well, a descent rope is a rope that's rigged on the top of the tower, and it also has the bag on the bottom, on the base of the tower. And a vertical lifeline is another rope that's rigged on top of the tower, or wherever your worker area is. It's just going to be higher, right? It's rigged on the tower, and it goes all the way down to another bag or whatever, wherever it's at, right? So obviously, the descent rope, which is I forgot how many braid it is, whatever type of rope it is. I need to learn these things. This is why it's so humbling. The climbing part of the job is not so hard, but there's some parts of the climbing part is really hard. But all in all, it's more feel for me. But now the intellectual, the knowing technologies and all the intricate stuff that comes with the tower is what kind of throws me off even more. This is why I ended up in the freaking tower industry. So the control, the descent rope is the rope that you put your device called the ID. This is a device that latches on, or actually puts the rope into a tunnel, into this device that you flip open that has a carabiner. This is the device that controls the speed and just the speed and descent of how fast you're gonna descend down the tower, right? Some Rainbow Six stuff, right? Some Rainbow Six-ish, right? Just like Rainbow Six Vegas, upside down, whatever, right? That is the controlled descent line. It's so crazy that I played Rainbow Six back in the day to see them on the ropes in the video game. It's just still surreal to me that I know how to control descent. Well, and I know how to rescue on a controlled descent also, but I'll get into that later. So that day we did 3 controlled descents and 3 self-rescues. What you want to do is get your it out. This is what I always messed up. I always didn't put the rope over on my right side, but the rope was rigged on my left side. So every time I would connect the id, right, you could after having your hundos on that thing. Actually, you should keep it on until you got your little vertical lifeline lanyard on the vertical lifeline rope. So now you're able to take off your Y lanyard. You're 100% off because now that's your 100%. And then while you're sitting there, positioner, which is this rope thing that makes you work with all your hands, right? So when you have the positioner, you would have the control descent, and you would not need to put it through the loop, close it up, put the carabiner on, and put it underneath your spreader bar, right? Or no, we're on top of the spreader bar. And then you take your positioner off, and then now you're able to control descent. And then you lean in, and you walk on the side of the tower. So we do 3 of those, wherever, 3 upside down self-rescues. The self-rescue is basically you're outside of your seat and you're hanging off of your positioner in the waist, right? So all this area on your waist is your seat is actually up on top of your butt. So that is how do you get out of that? Because your seat is actually what keeps you into a swinging and pendulum a momentum where you actually could use your feet, and it holds you like a little baby carrier, you know, like a hammock or something, you know. That's what it feels like. But when you fall out of your seat, that's when everything goes wrong. Your system, your Sala full body harness is not working like it's supposed to be working, because that seat's supposed to be underneath your butt. So every time you move around and then you sit down and you let your legs and arms heal, that's what you're going to be sitting on. So that means that position, that full body harness isn't working right. So what you do, what Elvis taught us to do, right? There's a spreader bar on your hips is what controls, you know, all your hip movement and placements and the whole harness where it sits in your butt so that it holds you. It's called this thing called the spreader bar, and it's linked by 2 D rings on the side on your hip, right? So you push up, and then you hang upside down, and you put your legs around this, right? Around the ropes, and then you push. You use both of your arms. You push up, upside down, pushing your seat up. That day was cake. That day was easy. I did fairly good. Now next day, we go into class. We don't even take any tests. We already watched all the slides. So we go out there on the shop where some other guys are working, our other brothers. I forgot the new guy's name, but Connor Brandon was there, Joshua Dodge, Sebastian Gonzales, freaking Miguel Medina Garcia. Who else was out there? And occasionally our CMs, Derek Bentley and Jeffrey Gonzalez. They're there upon us getting trained, right? So it's Tyler, Ted, Chris Rose, Francisco, Zack Bliss, and Hayden Arthur Cook, Chris Rose, I forgot Tyler's last name, Francisco Brasmasco-Paez, I forgot to throw in that. Shout out to my foreman. That's my boy right there. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's us, and then upon us climbing, they're out there building bungas, right? So next day is which is today, the second day of tower climbing class, or at least the third day, I think. But actually climbed on the tower is the second day, so that's Friday. Oh God! Oh, where do we start? So, what is it? We were instructed to do a rescue using the kick push out method, and bring it up with the positioner, right? We had to do that at least twice, and one live rescue, right? Okay, so I get up there, everyone goes up there. What I notice about me is I let everyone go. That's just me, whether I'm scared or not, or afraid to go first, which is all those things. But I'm also always willing also. So whether I'm scared or not, it's just because I know I'm going to be in front of people. It's like, whatever. So anyway, right, I'm just like, okay, whatever. I climb up after everyone has climbed, really. It's not like I'm always the last one, but... So you go to the top, right? And you always monkey up with your pelicans, right? Every time. So I know what to do. I know what to do, but mind you, something happens every time I do it. So I climb up, I pelican up, whatever, right? I freaking my 100%, my pelican, my Y lanyard is hooked on the correct anchor point of the tower leg, right? And then plus I gotta forget that if the dummy's down there, I gotta help rig it. So Francisco or somebody on the rope pulls it up, and I gotta go down, click the freaking load rope. Wait, no. Click his 100% that's hooked on the tower onto him, and unclick the load rope and send it down. So it's quicker to just set him up like that. Ropes, rescue him, rope. The more I see it, the more it stays in my head visually also. And then I could sit at home right now and talk about it, and it's going to stay in my head. This is why it's a humble experience, because I can still see parts of my skill. Like, oh my God, why did I do that? So anyway, before, after you help to rig them, and he's hanging there on his wine lanyard, right? You go up, all the way up, and then you position off with your positioner with your 100% still cooked on. Obviously, you don't want that to be off. You always want that to be on and clicked on to something. So if you mess up and fall, that will hang you and hold you. But anyway, so you look up, 100% still on. Okay, cool. So what do? You look for the devices that you're going to put up. So you get your vertical lifeline, you get it out, connect it, see if it locks in, and then put the red lock on it. I see how user-friendly this freaking... I've seen other ones that are kind of hard, but when you're out in the field, you take the time. So, but circle back to that. This device, very user-friendly. Clipped it on, shake it on the vertical lifeline, which is another rope in case you fall when you on your controlled descent rope. That vertical lifeline is going to save you. So, connected that, right? This is where I always mess this up. Every time. So, I get the carabiner because this is what I messed up first. The very first day when I put the it out, mind you, that I've gone out in the field and control descented, and most of the time I was by myself. But whether I did it the more correct way or not, I leaned into it, and I was able to control descent every time, and you are now able to see Ted alive. But it's just humbling that most of the time, last time when I was out in the field doing it, it happened to work correctly. The last time, actually, I had 2 ropes flipped inside the different devices, but it still worked. But that was out there in Haral. I still got the video towards it. I am so happy. Like that, one of those days is like just control descenting like that. It's just super fun. But anyway, get back to this. Like, what I was messing up is I had the id correctly this time. I made sure every time I looked at it and opened it up, I was like, okay, this is what it's supposed to look like. It's supposed to have from the bottom, and it curves left to right, and it says the eye of the rope. The eye of the rope is the top of the rope that's rigged on top of the tower. So that means it's the head of the rope, right? That's what I was messing up. So I think I was thinking about that too much all the time. I was like, okay, cool, I got it down now, right? But the other thing that I keep getting wrong is putting on the descent rope on my right side, because you always wanted to push the lever with your left, and then you're going to want to grab the bottom of somewhere around your butt and hold down the rope like that. Have tension on the bottom and pressing the lever slightly so you could control descent down the tower, right? Always mess this up every time. Every time I go out there, and this is not even when it gets hard. This is like the semi-harder part, right? Actually, it wasn't even really that hard. I was doing everything correctly, but that part, I just didn't slide the rope over. So everyone does it, you know what I'm saying? But me, I had to redo that. So after lunch, he's like, okay, Ted, we need to do it one more time. I was like, yeah, you're right. I need... It's humbling. Throughout the day, I'm already humbled. You know what I'm saying? Francisco was like, don't worry, Ted. We do it until we get it right. Don't worry, Ted. We get it. We do it until we get it right. And mind you, that this is after that I self-rescue, which is I love Tyler for that, because Tyler was like, hey, who needs a rescuee? Oh, Ted, have you done the live one? I was like, no, I don't need I haven't done the live one yet. He's like, okay, I'll hang for you. Which is great, because he's another guy from the other team, from the other company that we have absorbed, and he was with us. And I actually remember seeing him somewhere around San Jose when me and Francisco worked. He was working with Don, and he was also working with Chris Rose. And now I remember Tyler. He looks familiar. Cool cat. Reminds me of Joe Lopez, but a white version of Joe Lopez. He's hella funny. But this part, what did he say? The something vortex is when you kick out the rope and then you pull up with the positioner. So this part, this is how the process goes, right? Same thing, but a different. Certain twist to the step. So you go up, right? Boom, 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 boom. But Tyler's there hanging down. He's like, oh, you know what I'm saying? We got a crab walk up. We got the SRL, which is a self-retracting device or something like that. I don't think I got that right. SRL, self-retracting. Hold on. Self-retracting lifeline. I can't believe I forgot that. Little things like that I don't remember. But anyway, you climb up, you crab walk, 100% for 100%, right? So you get your vertical lifeline lanyard and you connect it. Now that's connected, you take off your 100%, your wire lanyard. You could take that 100% off because you got the vertical lifeline, you know, which is the thing that's going to save you when you fall, because now you're not 100% on the tower. You can take the one on the tower and you can take it off. Now you're moving freely, but still has something to yank on you when you fall, right? So that's connected. So what's next? We take the we take it out. We put the control the descent rope, the blue rope or whatever rope it is. I think there was a black one there too. I forget what size it is, but there's a certain size that goes to those devices so that it can work correctly and work like it should be. So you put the descent rope through the end, you click it back, you put the carabiner on, and what you do this time, you click it on your carabiner, and then what you do this time is you grab your positioner, right, and you take the open hand that you usually click onto the tower, just one carabiner, you flip it around, and you put just the end with the one carabiner, and you click it on your spreader bar. But when you click it on your spreader bar, you click it underneath. So when you click it underneath, it gives you more length to freaking, throw down the tower and then pull up. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, oh, okay. Like, so we put the open end, just the one carabiner that's usually used when you're working, right? When you're working, we usually have the one with the lever and the carabiner, the one with the lever, that one, and then the pulling feature, and the lever and the pulling, you know what I'm saying? That end is usually attached to your spreader bar on your hip. But what he wanted us to do is take your positioner and flip it upside down, and then click the open end underneath the spreader bar so you have more distance. So now what you have on your hand, that's an extension of your body now, which is the work positioner, right? The end now, it has the lever, and then that one carabiner with that orange metal piece. That end is what you attach on the dorsal fin, on the dorsal D-ring, on the back of the rescuee, right? So I'm gonna just boom, go grab Tyler. Okay, buddy. Took hella long, and then by that time I pull him up, right? But actually, before pulling him up, I had to kick on the rope. So this is his body, and then there's Ted somewhere up here, right? But then when he's hanging on a rope, right? On the rope that I had attached, right? And then I'm supposed to kick out. Wait, no. He's on the yeah, he's hanging on my positioner. Yeah, because I clicked it on him, right? Yeah, that's what it was. He's hanging on my positioner. So the positioner is like down here holding him, right? Because I attached it to him. And it's attached to my spreader bar. So now, this line right here, I have to kick out and then pull up on my positioner. So, kick out and pull up. So, and mind you, Tyler is not a light guy, you know what I'm saying? He's not super obese too, but he's like, I don't know, 170, 180, somewhere around there. He's a taller dude. You know what I'm saying? He's kind of built, so he's a taller dude, and it's just like, that's where I got those welts. Very humbling. Like, I had to get sideways, and I like what Zack Bliss did. He put his foot all the way up. What Elvis Santana was saying, that the higher you put your feet, the more better you're going to kick out. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is the positioner rope that you attach to your hip, and this fist is him. So I have to get scrunched up like this, right? And then kick out. So scrunched up like this, and then kick out. But while I'm kicking out, you have that tail, the tail end with the lever end that you attach to his dorsal D-ring. You have to pull up. And what I was doing wrong, I was pulling up diagonal instead of straight up. But as you kick out, I'm pulling diagonally up. So I'm not getting the height. I'm not getting the height that I'm pulling him because he's heavy too. For me, I was like, oh, this is good as a challenge, you know? Francisco was like, yo, like, I think I've never seen you sweat this much. I don't think I've ever seen you this red before. But I finally do it. I'm like, right? Finally do it. Boom, boom, boom. Get him. And then I gotta take out his 100%. or whatever that's left that's connected, right? I don't think he at that time he had anything connected. I just needed to save him because he fell out of his seat and we needed to rescue him live, you know? Or he was hanging on a positioner that we rigged up, but we were pretending that was a Y lanyard. But it's crazy because just that is very humbling to pick up an actual person, because I can comfortably say that I could control descent and save that dummy, right? But which is on a live person is actually all the same principle, but now he has blood flow. So now it's going to take a certain time to rescue him, and you got to act promptly. You got to act with initiative and with care, you know what I'm talking about? Like, he's not going to survive forever if he's hanging on a freaking rope, or he's hanging on his Y lanyard that's like an atomic wedgie like this, you know? So you got to take that in consideration when you're doing this job and when you're climbing by yourself. I always notice that thing too. Like I told that new guy, I said, well, we don't want to land in our position. We don't want to land in our Y lanyards. We don't want to do that. If anything, don't ever, you know, don't fall. But if you do, that's going to save you. And those are those situations that they're trying to teach us. Like, what happens if someone falls? What are you going to do? Are you going to sit there, or are you going to try to help? But also, like, do it in a manner where it's going to help you come back to your family and to your tower brothers and tower sisters and whatever, you know? You got to take that in consideration. And that is when I had to redo that. After that, that's when I had to redo. I did it on the dummy. I had to actually put the vertical lifeline. No, not the vertical lifeline. That was always on the right. It didn't matter if it was right or left. Is what I meant to do is what I was always messing up. Is when I rigged the id to my positioner, and then you're supposed to have that other carabiner on your D-ring, and you put that carabiner through the rope and to your D-ring, and you're supposed to pull up and then press the lever down. That's what I was messing up, because it was always on the left side, and I kept it on the left side. So when I'm pulling up with the carabiner on the right side for the control descent, it was always adding another point of friction. So it's like all I needed to do was rig the rope right, the id right, and the control descent rope right on the right side before I hooked it up on my freaking spreader bar. This is the things where it kind of gets like, okay, there's two ropes, and then there's my positioner rope, you know, so there's three ropes. So if you don't take the time to freaking look at these ropes and know what they're for and know where they're at before you take off your positioner, now you're wasting time, you know what I'm saying? And now you're like, oh, and when do you break down? When do you explode? That's what I do good when I'm around a lot of people too, is I don't try to just like give up and just like I'll probably be like flabbergasted, like, oh, what do I do? Like, like, what do I do? But what I do really good around other people is I never really explode anymore. Well, an exception of Babe, because she usually sees a lot of me where I'm like, ah. But for the most part, like, I'm around people, like, I don't lose that cool to the point. I was like, it is what it is. If I'm going to be up here struggling forever, it is what it is. So the last part, after I've done all that, we all ate pizza, like, oh yeah, we're just sitting around in the food process, right? The last part is the hardest thing. So Elvis is going to break that. He's going to break us in teams, right? Since there's only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of us, one guy's probably going to have to go twice. So it was, I think, so someone goes up there, someone hangs, right? Which way they freaking fell into their positioner or their lanyard or whatever, right? The other two has to go outside and not see the setup or how he fell or whatever, right? So someone falls in. I think it was me. I think I went first or whatever. I don't know if I went first or second, but I went up there, boom, 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 right? And they tell him to go outside, and I think it was Tyler and Francisco. So Francisco was the one on the bottom, which is the ground anchor. We had to use the ground for some reason. We just had to use a ground anchor, right? It could have been a truck or whatever. But this time we just used a ground anchor. There was an actual metal piece on the ground. So I go up. Before they all came in, I had my positioner here, my lanyard here, my lanyard there. They did it great. These guys did it great. Freaking fast. All I hear is boom, 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 clink, clink, clink. Tyler grabbed me, boom, boom, boom. He freaking, I don't care. I'm going to yank it out of the freaking tower. Because Elvis told me to put my legs in the tower. But I got creative and I put my lanyard over here and I put my lanyard over there. And then I put my freaking positioner all the way inside. So there was like a lot of points of contact everywhere, right? And you're not supposed to do that. You're only supposed to have 100% clicked on the freaking tower. Anyway, boom, he saves me. Francisco lowers me down. Great, right? So, and then the next group, I think it's going to be Hayden and Chris Rose, right? So obviously, they did it right, or they did pretty good. And there's some items Elvis said that we can use, but it can't be. It has to be a rescue type of item or something. There was this thing called 4-to-1. That's what it was. I think we were learning. It was the 4-to-1 also that we were learning today. Was that with the positioner and also with the 4-to-1. That's what we were using. 4-to-1 is a device where it has 4 ropes to 1 rope at the end, and you pull it. And it basically gives you the strength of like 4 men, just right. So I think that's what we're doing at this part of the training was the improv team building rescue, assisted rescue. This was the most humbling part of the day. I go up there. We have a plan, right? Because Hayden and Chris Rose did this technique. He climbed up with the frickin' controlled descent rope. He rigged a D-ring around the tower leg, and then he put the controlled descent rope on the top at the end of that D-ring strap. And then he somehow used that, and he rigged another a block on it. Oh, that's what it was. So he climbed up to the top. Scratch that. He didn't put that controlled descent rope on the freaking tower leg. He put the D-ring, and then now it's hooked to the tower leg, and then it's got those 2 D-rings at the end that you click the carabiner on, and he used this little block, this red and chrome block to redirect. He redirected the controlled descent rope, and then he lowered it down to freaking connect to Tyler. I forgot who was getting rescued. And then Chris Rose on the bottom, on the freaking ground, with another aid, was pulling it, and then he pulled him up. And then he attached the controlled descent. Oh no! He lifted him up from the control descent rope. He used it as a load rope, and then he freaking set him down. That's what they did. I was like, oh my god, he did it so good. So now the most humbling part for me, I don't want to take your guys' time for too long, but this is what I do my YouTube for, is intros. So this is why this week and this day has ultimately been so humbling, right? We get there. It's me and Bliss now. We go outside. I'm like, okay, we got a plan. I'm using 1 4-to-1 and another 4-to-1 to pull Serrano, because Serrano is pretty much the big guy out of our group. Everyone's coming to me. They're like, you're gonna save Serrano. Not to make him look that bad. That's my boy. Serrano's my guy. I've always remembered him there are times that we don't. It's just like, why do you say things like that? But what? That's my boy. We had to save him. And now it's my time. So, okay. Bliss... we had a game plan. It's like, okay, before I climbed up, I was like, I don't even have my 100% on. You know. But, okay, make sure you have everything right before you climb up. I think I just was like, okay, Bliss is good. He's a good leader. He has all the things in his head, like, okay, you need this, you need that. I'm going to put it all together. And I put it on 10. And he's going to know where to grab it because he's going to feel it. And this is with the control descent rope that we're going to use. All right? So, okay. All right, I climb up, clink, clank, clank, I crab walk, right? Serrano's hanging, whatever, on his positioner and a Y lanyard. I didn't think his leg was inside the tower. So now I'm going to step into serious mode. And it's just like, okay, I get the concept right now. I know what to do. I know what to do right now is to just step by step, dude, remember the way you want to remember, but not take so freaking damn long, right? Because this man he's gonna turn blue if he's gonna hang here forever. Mind you, Serrano was not the most nimble. He's not the most nimble guy out there. He's sorry, Serrano. He's not the most flexible in a way, sort, but he's a good dude. He's strong, but I'm rescuing him. And so. And I'm up there, and I'm like taking. There's so many because I got 2 4-to-1s. I got an Ed, I got a vertical lifeline, and I got my positioner. So I got like 5 devices on me, and I was just like, okay, just breathe, breathe, take it slow, and then I got a D ring on the back of my back of my D ring, and I got another D ring that's connected somewhere. Right, and I was like, okay, all right, make sure do this right. Bliss was actually up there to supervise, right, but he's not really. No, he was in the ground, right? That's right. It was just me and Serrano on the tower. This is an assisted rescue. Bliss is my guy down there. I'm the freaking climber up top. So, and I'm like, okay, there's so many devices, right? I'm just boom, boom, boom. So many. What do I start? Where do I start? Okay, first get my 100% was clicked on the right side, but on the other side of the tower. So when I traversed, my right pelican was now crisscrossed to my left side, in front of my left, right? So now it's crisscrossed. Whatever. I'm like, whatever. I ain't got no time for that. But that's cool and all. If you don't get no time for that, so whenever you attach everything on, you better take that Y lanyard off correctly because it's going to get in your way. Mind you, this part is the most humbling part of the story because now I'm just like, okay, what do I... All right, so I need to get to Serrano. He's right down there. And then, okay, so I gotta make sure to put on my vertical lifeline first. Vertical lifeline because I'm hanging off my positioner. I'm already hanging off, right, with my 100%. So I attach my vertical lifeline. Do it like last time. So now my vertical lifeline is on. Now I can take my pelican off. But this is where I didn't take that off. I went to another different step, right? As I grabbed the 4-to-1 and I attached it on the tower, right? And I attached it on the tower. And then I lowered myself to grab Serrano on the dorsal D-ring so I could pull him up. This is the part where it's so like this boy he's freaking heavy. Like I was pulling him up with the 4-to-1, but it was still pretty hard to pull him up. And pulling him up, I'm just like and my vertical lifeline was on the left side actually. I think that was already connected on, right? But the control descent rope was now going to the left. So now my control descent rope is above. No, the control descent rope is on the bottom, and then now my vertical lifeline lanyard is like it's constricting. It's going in its direction up and down. So I can't really get as much. I couldn't get as much slack from it because my vertical lifeline lanyard was attached to it, and it's in its way. I'm like, oh my god. And mind you, Serrano's like, he's very voiceful. It's like, oh yeah, my legs. It's part of the things that I try not to do, but you gotta love him for who he is. Because, like, of course, it's a real life situation. We're pretending it's like it's a real life situation. You know what I'm saying? Which is great because myself needs that humble pie because I'm like, oh my god, this is so hard. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not sweating. I'm actually sweating, but everyone's watching by that time. I'm like, oh my god, we're the last group, At that time, I'm like, I'm not gonna give up. I'm just gonna keep doing this. And by that time, they're like, just do it like Serrano and freaking Hayden did. So take everything off, all right? The 41 is like attached to Serrano, the other one, and the other 41 is attached to me, just hanging off. And it's already took us positioner off. So and then the id and the control descent rope is stuck on me. So I'm like, I gotta redirect that, put it on top of my head where the D ring is at, and then fucking give his positioner back to Serrano, and so he could hang off that, and then I had to redirect the whole control descent rope on that rope on the D ring on the side of the tower leg, because that way the 4-1 with the 4-1 was not working. Francisco had to go up, and he's all, do we need another rescuer to help with the rescue? So I think by that time Francisco got up there and helped me because I could not get slack. I could not get slack on the ed using the control descent rope carabiner open end towards the Serrano's dorsal D ring. I couldn't do that. And I'm like, oh, it's stuck. And I'm just like, I use it differently, but the lever is going up this time. So he says you need to find a sweet spot and then pull it down. But I couldn't keep doing it. I was stuck the whole time. I was like, oh, it was so long. At that point, like, who cares that all the Tower Tech brothers was there? Real recognize real. They ain't gonna laugh at someone, especially who doesn't think they're like freaking ego hot-ish all the time. That's what I notice about the tower industry. A lot of the brothers do talk hella shit, but hella-ish. But I mean, they do it on each other for fun, and they do it for the ones who actually really deserve it. I noticed that about my brothers. I noticed that about my Tower Tech brothers. Like, they always try to, like, it is what it is. Like, it was most of them are actually hella, you know what I'm saying? Like, everyone just kept quiet, like, what is he going to do? And most of the time, everyone tried to laugh to keep the spirits up, because it's like, what does he do? You know what I'm saying? You have to let Ted in that position where no one is there or someone is there. What do we do? What do we do to save Serrano? What do we do in our minds, in our devices, in our will? What do we do to save this man? Because any second now he can just give up or give out and just pass out or whatever. I want this man to go home to his family. So what are we capable of, and what are we willing to do to get this done right without hurting him, and without hurting you, and without hurting Bliss, and without hurting Francisco? They were the ones to help me with the control descent. And by that time, we lowered Serrano down, and Francisco had helped me. But now Elvis was like, okay, so now I want Zack Bliss, Ted, Chris Rose, and Eric Serrano. I think Serrano, he didn't get... What did we do? Oh, he wasn't willing to hang again, so it was Francisco up there. Now we gotta save San Francisco, and now it's me, Bliss, Chris Rose, and Serrano. Serrano was on the ground, right? This is the time when it was better. I had Bliss up there. Me and him, you can tell, He strengthens the team a lot more stronger. That's why he's the foreman. He's one of our foremen. So is Francisco. But Zack Bliss is grizzled. He's been in there. I'm not saying Serrano isn't. And Chris Rose is not much of a climber, but he get down too. He's more. He rides lift a lot. He uses the man lift a lot. He's pretty good at that too. Francisco, he's just a beast too. He climbs and he knows how to use the man lift, just like Serrano and frickin' Bliss. But anyway, me and Bliss, we go up there. He's setting the stuff up. He's all the way to the top. He climbs quick. 30 years old. I'm 35. 5-year difference. That's my boy though. He is a cheetah on the tower. I'm climbing up. He's like, "No, you stay down there." You know, I'm like, "All right, cool." Francisco, oh, I'm hanging out. So Bliss is like, "No, you stay down there." He's like, "Okay, give me the rope." Because I was on the bottom, because I climbed with the controlled descent rope. And I looked up, and I'm like, "No, you stay down there, Ted." You know what I'm saying? So he's rigging up the freaking trolley block. Or no, he's setting some up with a D-ring. Oh yeah, and he set that block up where we're gonna redirect the rope so I can give him the control descent rope off my harness, off my D-ring, and pass it to him so he can redirect it from Serrano and Chris Rose on the bottom towards to him, and then me is gonna help give and feed down the rope to him. See, now you fully understand how many bodies you have on the tower to help him. Sure, it took a little bit more men for me and Zack Bliss's, you know, but when me and Zack Bliss was up there, and then those two down there, you can tell like we did a lot more. We were way more stronger. He held for sure made me more stronger. I'm like, okay, all right, go down here. I'm willing to climb quicker, faster if my brain isn't clicking right on my own, where I'm not in that leadership role yet, where I'm like, okay, there's hella ish thrown at me, hella decisions and hella devices. This obviously is like, calm and collected. Me, I'm like, oh my god, all right, you know. So but that time he redirected the rope. I got the carabiner open and controlled descent rope, and I'm climbing down. I'm like, and I'm just reaching towards Francisco because he's like this, and his legs are in the tower. His lanyard is up here. His lanyard is over there. His 100%. I think his positioner's on somewhere too. And his legs are in there, right? And I connect the control descent rope with the open end carabiner towards his dorsal D-ring, and then we pull up. Oh no, did we use the 4-to-1? I can't remember if I used the 4-to-1 or not. I just remember connecting on his dorsal D-ring the control descent rope, and then Chris Rose and Serrano on the bottom was going to give us slack or pull him so we could give him slack. If I had the 4-to-1 pulling him up, because I think I might have done that, was I connected the 4-to-1 to the tower, and then the yellow part, the end of the 4-to-1 towards his dorsal D-ring, and then pull him up on my own. And then I connected that control descent. I think somewhere around there is those steps. I know when I'm in the moment, I'll remember, I was like, okay, that's what I did. But if I used the 4-to-1, that's what I would have did to bring him closer, because that control descent rope might have not reached. But upon doing that and connecting on this thing and unhooking everything, then they slowly lower down Francisco down to the ground. And then every time you get a rescuee on the ground, you need to pull his legs out, and it goes flat on the bottom. So mainly what I'm talking about, this story, and that's pretty much where it ends. It's just a humble day. That part, I was just like, it just made me realize like how hard our job is and how scary anything could happen, and at any time and moment when you lose when you lose focus, that part can just be very like surreal thinking about it. You know, just easily like, wow, like we do this job for living, and when you lose focus. Okay, so so it is playing on my Twitch right now. I forgot to do this when we're like so many minutes in. Like, just our job is very humbling. It's very humble to be part of the tower industry, to be part of this fine group of men that I work with. You know what I'm saying? Climb with frickin' Tyler, frickin' Zack Bliss, Hayden Arthur Cook, frickin' Chris Rose, Francisco Brasmasco-Paez, Jeffrey Gonzales, Derek Bentley, Sebastian Gonzales, Joshua Dodge, frickin' new guy, I forgot his name, Casey Bale, Will Brandon, Connor Brandon, frickin' Elvis Santana, all these men, well, there's women too that work in the industry, but in our small group of collective brothers, like to be around these guys, to do the stuff that we do, even if it's just inside the warehouse. Oh, Eric Serrano, even if it's just inside the warehouse, you know what I'm saying? Like to practice, to hone your skills, and to practice to save one another, because you want this guy to come home. Who's next to you? You want this guy to come home, because they're risking everything. They're risking everything to provide to their families and to help their tower brothers, and to help connect everyone in different parts of the country, in different parts of the states, and different parts of the cities, just anywhere from frickin' San Diego to Elko to Fresno to frickin' Redding to frickin' Eureka to Wairika to frickin' Wendover to frickin' Elko, Carlin, frickin' San Jose, Menlo Park, Bay Area, freaking everywhere. You know what I'm saying? Like to put their lives on the line to help connect each other. So Miles Morales on the subway to look at his phone. You know what I'm saying? It's just humble pie. Just humble pie. And mind you, I'm like every time I stream, mind you, I'm like, oh my god, I know what comes with this. I know what comes with this, and I know how long it's going to take. It doesn't have to be that long, but it's gonna take some energy out of you. And I think, now circle back to why I'm glad that I didn't miss when I was doing a lot of YouTube and the stuff that I was going through with my mom. You know, me and Kuya Arnold. Shout out to my big bro. Albert's pretty busy right now. Shout out to him though. That's my brother. Upon that stress, and upon just doing the tower work, stepping into troubleshooting for the very first time with Francisco, not so much building a lot, but more fixing problems of the already built projects and the NSBs. Upon freaking streaming a lot, I started having. I'm not quite sure if it's my streams that are doing this. I mean, I know we get up early for work, right? I know we get up early for work, and before I put this cream or whatever solution that I got from, shout out to my doctor Thomas Retta. He's actually part of the doctor that I started seeing as my primary care. He told me that this was alopecia, which, shout out to Babe, shout out to Stephanie. There's the third one. That's the first one. That's the second one. That's the third one. And I think I have a fourth one in the back. So, it's very humbling to have that part, right, come out of my hair. And I went yesterday after training class. And actually, I went another day before that day. I think it was Tuesday or Wednesday or whatever. And this doctor had told me that, see? You see that? That's freaking humbling. To walk around and work like that? Like, I know it's not serious. It's like, well, it's not life-threatening, but it's just like, look at that. It's so smooth right there. He said that it's an autoimmune, like my body is trying to fight it thinks like it's trying to fight something that's bad or something. I think that's what he said. But this is what he gave. He gave me clobetasol solution. And I'm supposed to put that later on. So, it's just very humbling. Let me read what he said on the thing. So, my doctor said, Ted, it was great meeting you in the office today. To summarize the visit, you have alopecia areata, which is an autoimmune condition. I have given you clobetasol scalp solution to use on each spot twice a day until I see you in the office again. If you aren't responding to the topical treatment, we can talk about this injections into the areas that can often help restore hair growth. I also want to send some blood work to check your cholesterol and other tests that you stay healthy and well. I'll see you back in a month to assess how the medications is working. You can book this via the link below. Please come in the morning after fasting for 8 to 10 hours, nothing but water, and we will do the blood tests that day. Thanks for choosing Carbon Health for your care, and I look forward to partnering with you to keep you as healthy as possible. Stay well, Tom Retta from frickin' Carbon Health. And I just want to say to any upcoming YouTuber or any company inspiring artist or musician artist, whatever it is you may want to do, never give up. Always go through pain. Well, not always deliberately go through pain, but when you go through pain, you know you're gonna go through something, and it's gonna make you stronger. And mind you, I kind of did it. Last time I was on Twitch was 16 days ago. It's kind of a good break. It kind of felt good, but at the same time, it's just like Francisco. Shout out to Francisco. That boy is always pushing. That boy is always hustling, learning, and whatever. Just like my brother Deepak. That boy is always freaking working. He's always like boom, 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 computer freaking closing up sites, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Just like I'm on a different market now. I'm on a different market. I'm in New York or whatever. I gotta wake up early. You know what I'm saying? Like, the main message on this freaking YouTube is, I know I'm talking hella long and Teddy rants, but always go through your ish with a positive head look. You could kick and scream, whatever, but always at the end of the day, look for something positive, because that training day today was very humbling. It's going to make me better. It's going to be like, okay, I've done this before. Like, come on, like, I've done this before. And even if we get laughed at again, it's not necessarily getting laughed at. It's just like, no one had to laugh at me because I already felt bad. I'm like, I remember Elvis was like, because I was like, I keep fucking it up. Elvis was like, no, Ted, don't sell yourself short out. You know what I mean? Like, don't sell yourself so short. You know, like, come on now. You're being hella positive, but the main thing is just like, always do diligently, work diligently, trust yourself. What did we learn today? Chris Rose was like, what did we learn today? Francisco actually said it for me. We take our time, we breathe, and when we reassess. Don't freaking panic, you know, because I was sitting there and I was just like, I was like, what do we do? What did we do? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so that's the moral of the story. It's your host, Teddy Peso. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for taking your time out of the day to come watch me play my favorite video games, superheroes. And the last stream we did, Marvel's Spider-Man Miles Morales curtain call. And the current mission we're going to be doing is the Marvel's Spider-Man Miles Morales, breaking through the noise. And without further ado, finally, we can start the mission. And now you guys are like, oh my god, this guy took that long.
Meet me at the docks in Hell's Kitchen.
Meet me at the docks, huh? Hoping that this mission is not that long, but did we use the black and white suit already? I can't remember in the stream which suit that I used last. You know? So okay. Look, height 7, Brooklyn, New York, occupation high school student. The one and only Finn Mason, Rick's little sister. The Tinkerer, 5'7", 127 pounds, age 18, Placeburg, Brooklyn, New York, occupation leader of the underground, Finn Mason. The Tinkerer. Roxanne. Okay, whatever.
Try talking to
him. Let's go. Where did we go? Suits? Okay. Should we use this one?
Again?
Yeah, let's use the black and red one. That looks hard.
No. She knows I
Breaking through the noise. Meet Uncle Aaron in Hell's Kitchen. Hold on, guys. Let me be back real quick. Let me make an entrance to the kitchen so I could pick up a Bud Light. Shout out to everyone. Shout out to you guys. I love you guys. Thank you for the love and support. Is my rice? The rice is still on low. That's the front. Wow. I'm cooking rice right now, guys. And I set the pot on the back side, but the one that was cooking is on the front side. So the whole time it wasn't even being cooked. So maybe that's a good thing. So, all right. Very humbling week. Very good week. Very good week for me. It's always good to be humbled. We all need that. So, without further ado, let's start this mission out. Swing, swing, swing. Crime in progress. Okay. I see it's kind of tight though. And for a while, I was like, I was gonna see how long I needed to take the break because the last two videos that I did, I felt pretty proud about. I felt like, okay, I got a good intro, I got good sentences, forming good stories and intros, whatever I needed to do whatever I needed to say and articulate the words that I'm saying to express myself way better, right? If I struggle out in my actual life in front of actual people, that's cool too. I like that because it gets me better. I have moments where I'm like, I don't have any of that. But if I have a chance to do it on my YouTube by myself and get better at articulating my words and explaining and whatever and getting excited, that's what I'm going to be doing, to help me better, because my YouTube life will bleed into my tower life, and my tower life will bleed into my streaming YouTube life. I thought about? Oh, that's that level he fought frickin' Electro at. Frickin' Peter? Okay. Uh-oh, look at the graphics on it. The Prowler.
Alright, Miles. Spill it. Give me the whole situation.
Finn, Roxanne, Underground. It's just a lot,
You're 17. You're stressed. And you're a superhero.
Yeah.
You gotta cut yourself some slack. You still making beats?
Not much since I started.
Work-life balance, kid. Most important thing.
Right, that's what I'm starting to feel right now. Work balance.
Little project your dad and I started back.
Work balance with fun balance, and you know what I'm saying. I think I'm stack loading my days.
We never finished. We sampled street noise around the way. Wanted the city to be our beat. But your dad had the masters, and after things went bad between us. But you can finish what we couldn't. Plus, it'll take your mind off work.
Yeah. Okay. What do I do?
Load that up. I'll walk you through
Uh-oh.
I'll set up holograms to guide you. Scan the source.
Holograms, huh? You stealing my moves?
This was in my playbook before you even born, young blood.
Young blood. Okay.
Okay, don't think about Finn. Focus on sounds. Clear my head.
Scan the holograms and it'll unlock files on that drive I gave you. Help you figure out which sound you're looking for. Now try and find the original sound and grab a clean sample. Great levels. You're in the pocket. Not a match, though. Keep looking.
Okay.
Try moving in a little closer.
Okay. Whoa. That's hella feedback.
Need to be a little closer to get your levels right.
Okay.
Back up a little. Your levels are clipping. Try moving in a little closer.
Hmm.
But not quite what we're looking for.
Hold on. This is hella hard. There are multiple sound sources around the space. Just cover them. Use the sound to detect and capture them. Now there's no sounds coming that way. Hold on.
Try and find the original sound and grab a clean sample. Good sound, but it's muffled. Try and get a clear line of sight. Great levels. You're in the pocket. Make sure you've got a clear line of sight. Don't want any distortion. Not a match, though. Keep looking. Try moving in a little closer. But not quite what we're looking for.
Okay, how do we do this? Okay. Right here. Those are two sounds. Directional sounds that we are missing. And
try and find the original sound and grab a clean sample. Try moving in a little closer.
Pretty sure it's behind me.
Need to get a little further away so it doesn't distort.
Nah, getting too far away.
Don't
Okay.
even think half done yet.
okay, I can't be.
That.
Okay, come on. Just record sound sample.
Great levels. You're in the pocket. Good sound, but it's muffled. Try and get a clear line of sight.
Hmm.
Not a match, though. Keep looking. Back up a little. Your levels are clipping.
This is hard. It won't let me record unless.
Need to be a little closer to get your levels right. sure you've got a clear line of sight. Don't want any distortion.
Come on. You are too close to the sound source. The sampler on the right of the screen shows your...
Need to get a little further away so it doesn't... Try and find the original sound and grab a clean sample.
Nah, getting too far away. Pretty sure it's behind me.
Need to be a little closer to get your levels right. Thought you said you needed to clear your head. Back up a little. Your levels are clipping.
Sorry guys for that burp. Okay. It always points to that and does record audio.
Not a match though. Keep looking.
I'm not gonna find it over here.
But not quite what we're looking for. There you go.
There we go.
Yeah, that's it.
Alright, sound sample discovered, buoy
The
belt.
rest of the sounds you need are spread across the city. I left a few messages for you too, to help you get a feel for each location.
Okay. Burning through the noise, is that the mission?
Not now.
Whee!
Like,
Yeah, really unique dynamics.
see,
There you go.
man still knows his stuff.
That's right, Uncle Aaron, just like gonna be Uncle Ted.
I know what to do about Finn. I gotta see her. Try to talk her out of all this.
In person? Where?
Trinity Church. Tomorrow night. Why so interested?
Because you got a target on your back the size of Jersey.
You got a target on your back the size of Jersey, you know what I'm saying?
Saying sure.
Spider-Man's from Queens, Miles Morales is from Harlem, but you know what I'm saying? Some of the enemies come from Jersey.
How things went bad between you and Dad. What actually happened between you two?
It
Damn,
was
you can see the snowfall on their freaking armor.
too similar and too different. Finish the tape, get all the samples, and you'll hear the whole story. Promise.
All right, thanks, Unc.
Trinity Church. Remember, Tinker is yours, but leave the boy alone.
Man, I needed that. I was beat.
Breaking through the noise, leaves the
Okay.
apartment.
I'm gonna call Finn. As soon as I'm ready to...
Damn, I just hop out without the freaking story. In the snow. Breaking through the noise, complete XP earned. There we go, activity tokens. Or level up. Current status. Swipe left on the access-friendly neighborhood Spider-Man app. Hold on.
All right. Time to call Finn. Hope she answers.
Hi, Spider-Man.
Finn. Hey. We need to talk. In person.
So you can lie to me again?
So I can make this right. Please. Meet me at Trinity Church. No more lies, I promise.
If you're screwing with me... Fine. I'll see you there.
At least she's willing to meet. Okay. Trinity Church, let's go.
Alright. What's the next mission? So, hello guys.
Hello, friends.
We just got done with Marvel's Spider-Man Miles Morales breaking through the noise. And the next mission is going to be Tinker Tailor Spider Spy. Tinker Tailor Spider Spy.
More than some.
And let's do this crime right here. Okay, so what does it say? Use the gravity well gadget to pull 8 enemies. Use venom attack 4 times. Gravity well attack and venom punch people 4 times, right? Use gravity well gadget to pull 8 enemies. Use venom attacks 4 times. Okay, gravity well. Gravity well, 3 more to go. How do we get gravity well?
You're in for it now. We're authorized to kill any underground we see.
But I
intentionally crush you like evil soldiers from the future, or is it just a happy accident?
You're not strong enough for us!
okay, so gravity well. I got one.
Direct hit!
I could get 3 people right here.
Taking a shot!
I need to get all 3 of them.
Neutralize Spider-Man!
Oh! That was it, guys. I tried to get I tried to get that crime fighter. Yeah, I don't really mind. Whatever, we failed at it. Tinker, Taylor, wait, what was that? We're gonna do a manual save. Save it. Breaking through the noise. Tinker, Taylor, Spider, Spot. Tinker, Taylor, Spider, Spy. Tinker, Taylor, Spider, Spy. Tinker, Taylor, Spider, Spy. Tinker, Taylor, Spider,
Looks like
Spy.
everyone's okay after the protest.
Spider-Man coming back.
Tinker, Taylor, Spider, Spy. Tinker, Taylor, Spider, Spy. Tinker, Taylor, Spider, Spy. It's your host, Teddy Pace. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for taking your time out of the day to come watch me play my favorite video games and superheroes. And it's a host, Teddy Peso. I just got done doing the Marvel Spider-Man Miles Morales, breaking through the noise. And the next mission we're going to be doing after this current mission that we just finished is going to be Marvel Spider-Man Miles Morales, Tinker, Taylor, Spider, Spy. Tinker, Taylor, Spider, Spy, right? Tinker, Taylor, Spider, Spy. Finally. The more this guy is really calling Spider-Man off the hook though. Ooh, super cream. Mortal story, very humbling. Keep doing what you're doing. Push yourself to the limits. What is it? Did that record while I was doing that? Main in the story is just keep pushing yourself. When you go through adversity, it's only going to make you better. When you're feeling sad or when you're feeling lonely or you're feeling like lately, I don't know if I was like depressed, but there was one day that we do training and it's like I don't know how to conversate with the tower tech guys, it's in certain parts of the, at certain parts of the time everyone is building and it's just like, it's almost like I try to avoid people sometimes. I'm not deliberately trying to avoid people, but it feels like that part of me where I'm just like, part of me is where I struggle with. And it feels like that day, one of these days, I just went home. I ate dinner, right? A Spam and broccoli. I watched Seinfeld. I turned off the TV, and then I went to sleep. 5 p.m. because we got out pretty early. But like 4 or 6 or something, I just went to sleep. I took a nap, and I called Babe. And after that, I think I stayed up a little bit longer, and then I went to bed. But like that part of me, I started noticing it's just like it's always a battle. It's just like being positive and doing the right thing. Like today, I went to go pick up some some recreational, some marijuana, whatever. And the dude outside C-Street is like, "Hey, bro, like could you go? Hey, I don't got my ID, but could you go inside for me?" I was like, "Oh, because I try to avoid eye contact, but obviously he already flagged me down, and I'm like, and he's like, I want Santiva, and I was just like, okay, I can't really promise whatever I'm gonna get, but he gave me money, I went in there, boom, 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 I went and bought my own stuff, and I went and bought his, and as I come out, I see him walk away, and I'm like, it's like he's already gone. Like, did he just forget that I wasn't in there that long, And what are the two things that come in your head? It's either the bad one, not so bad like you're evil, but it's the one that takes the easy route. Okay, so he's walking away. So that means he's just so what? I got a free pre-roll and I got $10. Because they used my own money, you know what I'm saying? So I'm like, this is not the right thing to do. And I'm like, okay, I put the stuff in my car, and I walk down the street, and I'm trying to think, it's a white dude, older white dude, and then I see him with a shopping cart. And mind you, when you went left down the sidewalk and you turned left, by the time I got up and turned left, I seen him and I was like, damn, he's pretty far. Like, am I sure that's him? Or it might not be him, but it looks like him. He's the only guy with a shopping cart this close. And so I walked up, I crossed the street and I was just like, hey, don't you want your blunt? Or don't you want your pre-roll? And it's like, huh? And it took him a second to respond, but he was like, damn, whoa, I already forgot about that. But I was like, yeah, don't you want your brew? I was like, damn, like, and I was like, he's like, here's $1 because it was $9.20. I don't got any change, He's like, nah, don't even worry about that. I was like, wow, like, and there was another lady around the corner, and she was walking her dog, and he's like, wow, like, there's not a lot of people who would do that, like, thank you, like, thank you. What? Wow, this he turned to the lady and he's like, wow, this kid, he came around running and giving back my blunt. That's how he said it. He's all he came towards me and came running down the street to get me. And there's not a lot of people that would have done that. And the first reaction that I had said, I was like, it's not so much ego, but that moment I was just like, I don't wanna contribute to any bad. You know what I'm saying? Like, even though I'm not perfect, there's some things that I probably will do that's bad, and I was like, I know what's right. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not perfect. I'll stumble here and there, but I always try my best every day to be good, to be a good dude. You know what I'm saying? When it's right, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Not for my convenience. For those moments when I'm just like, I know this is the right thing to do, and it was just like, there's not a lot of that. You know what I'm saying? There's not a lot of that nowadays. And I was like, you know what? I don't want to contribute to the bad. I want to contribute to the good. It's like a genuine answer. And he was like, you know what? Hey, what's your name? My name's Timothy. I was like, my name's Ted. Nice to meet you, sir. Have a good, you know what I'm saying? Like, the straight, same personality that I've always carried with me as a kid. And, and shout out to Babe, shout out to Stephanie, to her son, Alakai. It's the superhero day for his school. And she was excited to tell me. And she was like, it's Alakai's superhero day at his school today. And what he had told me was like, I'm going to wear this shirt that Ted got me. And it was a Spider-Man shirt, and it was a Spider-Verse shirt that had Miles Morales, Spider-Man, Scarlet Spider, the other Scarlet Spider, freaking Superior Spider-Man, the one that Dr. Octopus, what else? There's other female Spider-Womans that I haven't seen. I'm like, damn, like, the Spider-Verse is crazy. But anyway, like, mainly that she was excited to tell me about that. And I was like, to be honest, I was like, the kid is a good kid. I want him. I noticed that he likes Spider-Man, and I see good in him. You know what I'm saying? And his mom is taking care of Michaela, which is the oldest, and Alakai, he's the youngest. So she's taking care of him without their dad because he wasn't capable of and whatever But I had told her I want Alakai. He's a good kid. If I have a chance to influence a kid in the right direction to be a good person, I could see him taking care of his mom, his older sister, Teresa, which is his grandma, and Victor, which is his grandpa. Not his blood grandpa, but which is his grandpa. Victor loves him. Victor loves Alakai. And Grandpa Joe, which is Teresa's dad, and Aaron and Nicole, which is his aunt and uncle. And his actual dad, I forgot his name, but his actual dad, you know what I'm saying? I want him to even care for him. He shouldn't hold malice over his dad because that's his dad. Whether he wasn't capable or incapable of taking care of Alakai, that is still his blood father, and I would want him to have a good relationship with his dad. And just her saying that, it just reminds me of what type of guy I want to be and what kind of kid that I grew the type of kid that I was, and to grow up into a young, good adult like me now. I'm 35, hella old. You know what I'm saying? It reminds me of when I was younger. So moral of the story of my outros, I guess I'm doing outros now. It seemed like the battles wasn't as extensive on this stream, but what the battles. I keep talking when I do the save point. The battles into the stream wasn't as extensive, so I'm going to add an outro to this one. Whereas in the beginning I had an intro, and now I have an outro, meaning in the words of Teddy Peso language or Ted Gonzales language, Tower Doc, whatever it is. Intros and outros is a part of the video where I talk a piece of my mind and a piece of my emotions and a way to express myself in a way that can get you to feel like you're hanging out with me or you're up close to me or whatever, or just my thoughts in general for you to hear. You know what I'm saying? And this is what I'm beginning to strive for and motivate myself for and influence others and motivate others to do, because this feels great to me. Whether I make money off of my YouTube or not, I don't freaking care. I don't. Why do you think in most of my videos currently, I don't say, oh, don't forget to press the like and subscribe button? Because a lot of people are always saying that on YouTube. It's like, what are you, a car salesman? I get about selling yourself and whatever, but I leave it up to you to press the like and subscribe button. I don't want to force you to do it. If you think the video was fucking amazing, but if you're just too lazy, or I want to say lazy, or tired, or not as important enough to hit the like button, I would not fault you for that, because I wouldn't want to earn it that way. I want to earn it the way you really want to press the like button, or really like to press the subscribe button. You don't have to follow me on Twitch and YouTube, but if you manage to see this part of me and part of my life, I thank you for being there. Thank you guys. Thank you guys for taking your time out of the day to come watch me play my favorite video games and superheroes. Love you guys. Thank you guys. Without further ado, we're going to end this video. But while ending this video, let's attempt to do this last crime.
The underground took over that billboard. They're locking on.
What's this? Antennas?
Right. Now to track them down.
Oh, this is this freaking sound, cyber. Oh, goodness.
Why take over a billboard? Is it intimidation? Are they dropping a new single?
Okay, where is it at? Where's it at? Come on. Where's it at? Is it up here? Oh my god, where is it at? It's gone? Okay, it's gone. It's gone anyway. I was trying to do the last mission. Without further ado, we're signing out. Thank you guys. I love you guys. Thank you for the love and support. I'm out of here. I keep doing the intros and outros, whatever. I'm just gonna end. You know what? I'm just gonna end the stream now because I'm talking too much now, and I'm doing too much where it's not even gonna lead to anything. So I just need to stop right now. You know? All right. See you guys later. I'm about to play Halo Infinite. Damn, I did freaking almost 2 hours on this stream though. You know?